former Keltie, bigger booty, six-pack. Then I started listening to this guy, who had me starting to listen to Peter Attia, and before you know it, you're going down the rabbit hole that leads you to Bryan Johnsons. And the more I listened to these anti-aging workouts, the more I was like, I need to try this. And before you know it, I consumed every single one of these podcasts, every single one of Andrew Huberman and Peter Attia, and even Bryan Johnsons' videos, podcasts, and books. And even though they all have different beliefs, I noticed a few similarities between all the people in the fitness and longevity world, which I call the 5 S's, and I did them for an entire year. Here's what happened. Here was me before, an athlete turned a bar star to bodybuilder to someone who just loves new challenges, which is the era you've seen me in on YouTube. And don't get me wrong, I'm constantly love to try something new, but after 2 years of just trying every single trend on YouTube, I just felt a little burnt out and I really wanted to spend a year for me. Like, what would I do if I spent a whole year with a really scientific approach for not just how I look, but more for longevity? What would happen? After the pain that is Q4 and surviving the holidays of 2022, I decided in the beginning, January 2023, I really wanted to focus on mobility, flexibility. So I was doing Pilates about 2 to 3 times a week and getting mobility sessions in 4 to 5 times a week. And luckily I had found running and Pilates of 2022, which led to that kind of spark. This didn't just come out anywhere. I wish I was that smart, but it's a process. And I started to be like, oh, a little Pilates, a little zone 2, this feels kind of good. What would happen if I did more of this? And here's what it is. The 5 S's that pretty much every longevity expert from Andrew Huberman to Peter Attia recommends you do. And they're simpler than you would think. The 5 S's: sculpt, strengthen, stretch, sweat, and social. And don't get me wrong, I know the word sculpt is like, but some girls like to use the word sculpt. But if you're one of those girls who don't, or the guys out there, you call it strength. And I don't discriminate. Call it sculpt or strength. It's up to you. What did I do for each of these? Number 1, sculpt. Andrew Huberman recommends doing 3 sets of every muscle groups 3 times a week. I make sure to do resistance training weekly, but what I use for that resistance varies from resistance bands to kettlebells, reformer, and the classic dumbbells and barbells. Number 2, sprint. This is really utilizing your VO2 Max, which is one of the greatest predictors of longevity. How do you do this? Go balls to walls, max out for a total of 10 minutes throughout the week. February I flew back to Vancouver, and being honest, up to this point, I hadn't really been doing my VO2 Max, the 10 minutes of sprinting a week, but luckily, berries. Because I'm going to be honest, nothing makes me go 100% more than being around people and blasting music. Because I'm going to be honest, when I'm alone, I'm a wuss and I half-ass it. So doing a berries class once a week, is it perfect? No, but it gets me sprinting. Done.
Tuesdays, I always have a really early, sweaty workout. So I might do berries, I might go for a run, because it's going to be hair wash day. So I'm like, I might as well get as sweaty as possible today.
S number 3, sweat. Now, to anyone that's watched Andrew Huberman, let's all say it together. Zone 2 cardio. But yes, 150 to 180 minutes of Zone 2 cardio a week. Peter Attia even said up to 200 minutes. There's a ton of ways to do Zone 2 cardio. You can dance, swim, walk. For me personally, it's a light run, walk outside, or the occasional hike when I can get outside the city.
Laid under the willow tree the last weekend of summer.
Come March, I was maintaining my sculpt and sprint sessions. Then after taking some time off running, because honestly I was burnt out from my run streak, the weather was getting a bit warmer, and I started running again for Zone 2 and doing some hot girl walks. So what did I do for sweat in Zone 2? Really 3 sessions. I do go for a hot girl walk every day, but I'm really not getting my heart rate that high. That's more of a Zone 1 for me. To really get my Zone 2, I go on a short run once a week, a longer run once a week, and then I do go on a long hike once a week. And I say hike because it's really just a bit more intense hot girl walk. There's 2 types of girls. There's the girls that wear Lululemon and go for hot girl walks. And then there's girls like my sister-in-law who wear Arc'teryx and go for actual hikes in the mountains. And we both joined forces on agreement that we use Apple Watches and Garmin's to count our steps. Number 4, stretch or stability. Andrew Huberman recommends 2 to 4 sets of every muscle group, holding the muscle group for about 30 seconds 5 times a week. So this really works out to be about 10 minutes 5 times a week. AK could be your warm-up or could be your stretch. Now, Peter Attia recommends a bit more stability. So this is like the mobility exercises we think of out there, which I'm a big fan of, and hinting at something I'm working on for 2024. But for me, that was Pilates. Pilates is a really good way to get full range of motion and be stable, because stretching is really static. You're just stretching out to the maximum of ability, but stability is being able to use force when you're on your full range of motion. And it seems to be they all agree you need both. After catching the stretching bug in 2020, 2021, 2022, I kind of fell off. January, I started consistently doing it. I got that craving again, and the spark came back to attempt to do the splits again, and I'm determined to one day do it. What about nutrients? There's a few things that I've noticed them all say that I've done over the last year. Number one, omega-3s. For me, that's really making sure to get fish a couple times a week, and I eat a lot of macadamia nuts because I'm allergic to avocados. 2, protein, mainly because one of the biggest things that can help with longevity is just keeping your muscle mass up. And supplements, AG1. You might have noticed Andrew Huberman, Peter Attia, yes, they all take AG1.
I started taking athletic greens way back in 2012.
Every single day since I've been on this improving longevity health span journey, I have taken AG1. Why? It has your vitamins, minerals that are essential for building tissue, cells, and other metabolic processes. It contains bacterial culture enzymes and other whole food sourced ingredients. Most important to me is the simple daily habit, so I'm actually consistently taking it versus buying some trendy vitamin I take for 30 days and then forget to repurchase. It's catered for professional athletes and is NSF certified. So it's a simple habit every day, and I know I'm covered. If you use my link down in the bio, you will get a 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free travel packets with your first purchase of AG1. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring this video. Now, for stretching, if you guys have followed me, was a big goal for me in 2019, 2022. I did my Olympic stretching series and went from someone who couldn't touch her toes to doing the splits. The problem was I did the splits, and then I was like, I've done it. I don't have to stretch ever again, which is very faulty thinking, very faulty. But at the beginning of the year, I started getting back into Pilates. When I started getting back into Pilates, that really got me craving those mobility exercises, which got me craving yoga again, which got me creative stretching. And it was really a big focus for about the first 8 months. But then when I really amped up my training for my half marathon, I only had so many hours in the week, and training for running like that is a bit more extreme. And so I had to sacrifice it. I sacrificed mobility, which I regret because I injured myself. So, after some time off from running, being burnt out from my run streak, April to June, the weather being nice, I re-caught the running bug again that I talked about in last week's video, my 2-year run journey.
I remember when we used to be in love, and we thought that nothing could ever keep us from parting. But now you're gone, and
August to October, I was training for my half marathon, which involved 1 short run, 1 long, and 1 berries class. That plus some hot girl walks was my zone 2 and VO2 Max for the week. I was doing 2 to 4 sculpt-based workouts, either weights at the gym or a Pilates class. I was still getting in some mobility before or after my weight sessions, but I won't lie, strength and stability took a bit of a back seat as I increased mileage on my runs weekly, simply because I'm not a professional athlete and I only have so many hours in a day I can actually work out. I'm not saying that's optimal, that's just a reality of life. Which leads me to the final thing, and the final S, social. I got into a weird funk in 2020. I started, we did this thing called isolate. Well, yes, I was isolated a lot. And then I didn't have energy. Because I was isolated. Because I didn't have energy, I didn't want to go see people. And because I didn't go see people, I didn't get energy. And I forgot that being around people energizes you. You start to be like, oh, that sounds exhausting. I got to meet up. I got to wait for them. I got to have conversation with another human. Ugh. No, I need to change. I need to change that. So 2 things I did. Every Saturday, almost, me and my best friend Ash, we met together to do a group fitness class, whether it be yoga, Pilates, spin, whatever we were feeling. Sometimes we were hungover and need to sweat it out. Sometimes we'd both done a lot of training for the week, so we were going to do like a Jaybirds yoga class. And sometimes we were just like, let's embrace our Pilates girl era and do that, or let's just go for a walk. And I actually signed up for a 5-kilometer race with a bunch of my friends, and also just got to know the people at my gyms a lot more. Even girls in the change room, just be like, hey, how's it going? I like your Lulu. Whatever it was, just purposely try to socialize more.
I love you. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's amazing. I used to have my social group from sports, university, and then the bar. And then I started working for myself, and I didn't really have connection. And so now I really think of my workouts, my gyms that I go to as my like social connection. And it's crazy how much energy it gives you. You would think it'd be the reverse, but it gives you so much energy. After my half marathon, aka last week's episode, November and December, I entered my first true off season for running. Me and my best friends started getting together on Saturdays for a Pilates or Barry's class. I counted that towards either my sprint, stretch, or strength workout, depending. I felt the best I ever have physically, getting in a little bit of each of the 5 pillars every single week. What was my routine and what were the results? I did about 3 to 4 resistance training sessions a week, whether it be Pilates, reformer, or weight training in the gym with dumbbells and barbells and bands. 2, sweat, so 150 to 180 minutes of zone 2 cardio a week. 3, sprint, so 10 minutes of max out sprinting to really work on that VO2 max. 4, stability/stretching, which was really 10 minutes 5 times a week, but it worked out to be about an hour for the entire week. And then 5, talk to people in the gym, meeting up with my girlfriends for a workout about once a week. And now I'm really trying to walk with my head held up, make eye contact with people I go by on the street, like not be creepy.
Oh, okay.
But just a simple like, hey, it shockingly brings a lot of joy to your day. Just a little smile. I know it sounds basic to me, and I have left this year feeling so good. I fell back in love with mobility, which has inspired me to want to get back into yoga and doing cool yoga poses and handstands and nailing that sprint. And it made me excited to get into fitness again. I felt young and youthful in my energy and how I move. I think the oldest I ever felt was when I was like 24, when I was like really heavy into bodybuilding and I was in a bad relationship. And like I felt old then. And it's funny, like almost every year since then, I've had a few downs, I feel younger. And it's crazy. We have this like idea that you turn 21 and it's all downhill. And I was like, no, I just think you just can't rely on youth. You have to put in the work, but it doesn't mean you're like broken. So it's been 1 year since my anti-aging style routines, focusing on just a fully balanced routine for a year. I'm gonna show you guys my final photos and compare it, but it's a funny one. Like progress photos, I always take them just in case. Like I don't care, which is really cool. I'm gonna take it. There might not be any change. There could be a drastic change. I always take it because I learned that the hard way with a couple things. I did challenges, didn't take the photo, and I'm like, I wish I had the photo. So I'd rather take it. But this upcoming year, if you decide to take progress photos, realize there's so much progress that is not in a photo. And look for the little things. I've noticed I really like taking progress photos, less about like how my body changes, but like how I hold my body. I stand a little straighter. I see a little grin. I love photos. I love documenting progress. I just hope if you do it, just like how you can hyperanalyze the scale, don't hyperanalyze your body. Hyperanalyze the photo and how you hold your body and how it feels. Maybe I stand up a little straighter. Maybe I got a little bit more better posture, and maybe nothing's changed at all, but I feel great. So regardless, I look back at that girl and I know the pain in her back and the stiffness. And I'm like, I'm not there anymore. And I feel more energy than I ever have doing just not the most insane workout schedule. Like it really works out to be 3 actual workouts and 3 kind of like more outdoorsy moments. So you can double those up on a day. And like, it really got me craving movement. So if you can get to a place where it's not like a have to, it's like a craving. Like when you're thirsty and you're like, oh, I do have to get outside and go for a walk, or I do need to stretch this out. It's such a nice place to be. And it makes you want to do more good things for your body, which leads me to my 2024 series, which is really going to be like becoming her, but not even that, because I think her has kind of been taken by social media as like that girl. It's very like this perfect person that wakes up at 5 and does these specific things every day. We know the look, and there's nothing wrong with it. I've embraced it myself. It's really 2 things. Having that daily routine that makes me show up as the best version of myself. It's not even like this grind mindset. Like when I do 90 minutes of work and then I just take a breather, go outside for 10, 20 minutes, listen to this music, I feel so much more energized. I enjoy my work better. When I get overwhelmed, stopping to take a breath, waking up at 5 a.m., not because there's anything magical about that, but just because I'm more productive and I love those hours versus some people at 7 a.m. or whatever time works for you. It's doing these workouts, not necessarily the biggest trend. It's scheduling time to work on music every day, to not just follow the algorithm, to be like, why did I start YouTube? What is the creative things I want to do versus being like, you have to pump out a reel and a short every single day and this is what's trending to do this. It's like, okay, that's cool, but like, what do I actually want to do? And that routine, and also doing those things I've always wanted to do. Kind of bucket list, but like learn a language, try ballet, work on my posture. I want to do those things that I've always thought about doing but haven't done. They're not the crazy things, but red light therapy. They're just actually doing those things. And even just like making beautiful art from music and videos that you guys enjoy, but also just really feels like a diary for me. This year, my wellness diaries was kind of my first attempt. Of course, I do go after a few challenges. There's a few things, but I really every year get a little closer to creating the content I like that I hopefully you guys like too. And that's really what this new series is about. It's romanticizing my daily routine and also going after those things I've always wanted to do, making my Pinterest board come to life. So, I pin a lot. I pin a lot on Pinterest. And I'm like, you know what? That outfit is cute. Why don't you wear that outfit? I pin these outfits that I could wear, but I don't because I go save it for a special day. No, today's that day. And that's kind of a little hint at my new series. I would love to hear what you guys are working on for 2024, any videos you guys want to see. Thank you for 2023. Thank you for being me on this journey. I feel really good. It had lots of ups and downs. But if you're watching this, it means a lot to me because I really focused on what was good for me at times. And I hopefully that inspires you to do what is good for you and not just what you think other people think you should be doing. Unless it's Andrew Huberman. Then we gotta do it. Just kidding. But hopefully you guys have a great day. Go pet a dog. Love you guys. Bye.